Hello. Oh my gosh. Okay. I was telling myself to breathe because my computer was not was not working with me today. All right, cool. It's going at like a snail pace. I don't know if I have to do something. Um, I have to like clean up the memory or do something because it was just stuck. It was just stuck. Um, let me see here. Someone I see a chat. Janice, yes, yes, there are replays. And I will put that link in the chat. But yes, yes, there are replays. Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Gosh, I hope that your week is off to a good start. That you had a great weekend. Gosh, yeah, we're in December already. Oof. Hey Maple, not right now, buddy. I have cats around me right now. They're they're demanding some attention today, and I'm trying to be careful here. Got some I picked up some oh, Suzanne, yes, might need to empty the cache. Yeah. It literally I keep getting like the where it keeps turning. Yes, meow to you too, buddy. Um it keeps turning and it'll just freeze. Uh I don't know. I don't know. I tried resetting it yesterday. So I don't know. I think yeah, I have to do some background background stuff here. Um, let's see here. I did pick up a few, just a couple plants over the weekend. I was pretty sad. I don't know if any of you, if now you're starting to see those holiday plants that they put out. And usually during the holidays, I have seen poinsettias covered in glitter, but this was the first time I ever saw this. So, I mean, I've seen, spray painted plants. I've seen all these odd things. Um, but I saw yesterday, um, Haworthias, Haworthia plants that were covered in fake snow. I had to take a video because it's hard to see. It's just all white and it's all like this like fake snow and it's thick. Um, and I just thought, and it was even there was even like pieces that were like broken off that you could see, and this is like this film thick. Oh, see, I'm freezing again. April, not right now, buddy. Not right now. Not right now, my love. Here we go. Um, but yeah, they Holly, Maple, please. Yeah, yeah, Maple. Oh man. Ah, here we go. Oh, nails into the thigh. Okay, Maple, really. Okay. Well, I'll hold you here for a second then. So everyone will have a guest star for a moment because he doesn't. Hello. Oh, thank you. Um, but yeah, so they were completely, I guess, sprayed down with the fake snow. So it's not even like, and it also has glitter, which is very abrasive to the leaves. But it just had this super thick uh, film, and so what's wrong with that is that it's basically it's blocking. So plants have pores called stomata, and this is what is going to be blocking that. So that's going to keep them from proper respiration, um, from it from gas exchange. Also, it can affect the waxy cuticle that's on the leaf of the plant that's meant to protect the plant from drying out, from pathogens, mold, and things like that from sunlight. Um, So it can cause abrasions, and this kind of causes these like kind of like pitting. It causes like holes in that exterior. And yeah, yes, Suzanne, exactly, like suffocate. There we go. Sorry, I froze. I was like, I froze. Brenda, yes, purple poinsettias. Yep, yes. Of course there are different color poinsettias, and that's fine, but yes, I saw those the poinsettias where they spray them, they color them purple and then spray them with glitter. So it was just sad to see. It's like, come on, you could have just put the plant in a very festive pot. I just think it's unnecessary um to do that to house plants. Like it's you're just setting up the plant to fail, basically. Um, so yeah, I just was not, I was like kind of bummed out to see that, to say the least. Um, so I hate it when it's yeah, when it's that time of year. In on During Valentine's, I do see plants with glitter on them, but during the holidays, like during Christmas and yeah, mainly Christmas is when I really see all like the glitter come out and all that type of stuff. And so it's like I don't get it. I Yeah, exactly, Gabby. It says, well, or use a fake plant. Yeah, might as well use a fake plant. It's so weird. Um, yes, exactly, Synth, exactly. And you would have to buy it again. Oh, hello. Um, exactly. And you would end up, oh, now you want to go down? Now he wants to go down. Hold on. He had enough. He had enough. Watch, he's gonna hop right back on in a few seconds. Um, what I did pick up, because I really like these little white pots. Um, I've been trying to get more and more varieties of Sansevieria. Well, now they're Dracaena, but snake plants. So I have quite a few behind me. And so when I saw that they were carrying a couple of these, this looks like some type of trifasciata variegata, and I thought it looked really, really pretty in a little white pot. So it's gonna be going, going back here. And the same with this one. Also looks like a trifasciata. Uh, it has this really cool growth pattern. Um, I really like odd snake plants like this. We have quite a few here in the house. I literally, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I think I have like at least a dozen, at least a dozen snake plants. But they're such a great plant, especially if you have a very busy lifestyle, and so you're not, you can't like stay on top of them, but you want something really cool and pretty to look at that you can neglect sometimes. See, here we go. But then, so over the weekend, he knocked over a bunch of plants, and so now oh, no, I don't want him to get behind me. I'm gonna scoot my desk over a little bit. Here we go. Have my wheels. Here we go. And see if he will stop because he wants attention. But yeah, so these two Dracaena. Now I have these that I really like back here. This one, I really like this one. And so these are hard, so they're not soft. These are hard. Um, really like these. I had gotten this one, had this one for a while. Also the cylindrica. So they're kind of like a very like thick kind of succulent plant. So they're not even these leaves, they might look like they're super thin, but they do have some texture to them. So it's a very some rigidity. So they're very, very sculptural looking. I don't know, I really like that. And then I have this one. as well. So this one's pretty sharp. I've gotten myself a couple times. But these weren't the pots they came in. But I wanted them to kind of match a little bit. So have them here. Um, yeah, this is the aftermath. This one dropped. Maple dropped this one, and so this piece snapped here, and I was hoping that, maybe it wasn't too bad, but I think I might have to cut it off and see if I could root it. But it's the rest of the plant was fine. So far so good. Um, but yeah. Oh, Royd. I put my poinsettia too near a heater and the leaves are curling and dropping off. Okay. Yes. So poinsettia, so poinsettias are very interesting. They're honestly they grow in tropical regions. They like full sun. They like to be outside, high humidity. Um, they don't like to completely dry out. So they are very different than other euphorbias. So when you think euphorbia, right, you probably think like, oh, a plant that can withstand a lot of heat and a lot of them they can put up with a lot of cold, neglect. You can not water your euphorbia for like a month and it'll be fine. But not with poinsettia. It's like the oddball, the oddball. Definitely. Um, so yes, in that regard, I would say um to well definitely remove it from your heater. Try to find maybe like an east or a western window would still work fine. But yeah, definitely away from the heater. It can't get too cold though. So you want to see that it's at least at 70 degrees, with a nice amount of humidity. So you don't want it to be too dry. Um, and definitely water as soon as you notice that it's dry. It might still be fine. So even if you've lost a big chunk of the plant, a lot of the leaves, um, it can still grow. I mean, some people they managed to keep them growing well past the holidays. Um, and then they'll even put out flowers and the red petals again, the bracts. Um, so they'll do that again. So definitely don't give up on it. Um, Holly, and the stores in New York sell a wide variety. I can't find that in Chicago. Oh yes, with the snake plant. Hmm, there we go. I was like, I froze again. I'm just gonna give it a second. Um, yeah, yeah, and there have been. I feel like there's been a little bit more hitting the market in terms of variety, which is really cool. Maple, please, my love, please. He is looking at the desk and like calculating how to jump on the desk, but I have plants on my desk. Maple, no, no, buddy, no. So you could really cause some damage if you jump on my desk right now. One of those plants I think I showed you guys last week that our Alocasia longaloba was getting a leaf coming out, and look at the progress in a week. Look at the progress, and this is going to be a big leaf. So I thought it was going to be a smaller leaf like these that have been coming out, but no. Look at the progress on this leaf. I can't even get it all in the screen. Look at that. This is going to be a huge leaf. So I think it's going to be much more like this leaf. Um, Beautiful. Look at the size of that leaf. Holy moly. And I really thought when I saw it coming up, it was like growing like here, I think when I showed it to you last week, I really thought it was going to be one of these tiny ones. And I'm very happily surprised. Maple, I see you. I think he's looking at the plants. Come here, buddy. I feel like I'm gonna have to get a carrier for him and lock him in when I'm teaching, because as soon as I get in front of the computer, that's when he wants to do this. Like, I don't know. Literally, I will be even working, just typing and nothing. He'll ignore me. But as soon as I'm talking to the computer, he has to hop on, and then he starts, I guess, trying to get my attention by knocking plants over. Um, I don't know what to do. I have to get him like a little house to put him in when I'm teaching. I don't know. Since said the gorgeous attention hog. Yes, I seriously have to like get something, because one, he's causing a lot of damage to my plants. He really is. He's broken plants. He's killed a couple of my plants. They're just been he snapped because he decides he wants attention, and so he'll jump up here and then he'll go here and just start knocking stuff over. And so I'm at a loss at the moment. Adeline, can we sorry, can we spray? Here we go. Can we spray the leaves of a huge green poinsettia I have that looks like a tree? Spray? Do you mean like misting the leaves? Um, if you mean like misting the leaves of a poinsettia, yes, as long as you have really great ventilation in the house. So as long as the house is not the air isn't stagnant, like you don't keep your windows closed, and that it's not cold in your home, it's not chilly. If you wanted to mist it and kind of give it like a spray down, just like to clean it up, definitely, that's fine. I mean, it's not going to, um, that would be probably like the biggest reason to do spraying downs if you really just wanted to clean the plant off. Um, but as long as there's really good airflow and it's warm, then the plant will dry out throughout the day. So I would recommend to do that something like in the morning or early afternoon, so that it has time to fully dry. Definitely don't mist your plants or anything like that at night. Um, or if your home is chilly, and if all your windows are closed, because that might be just a recipe for fungus and then rot. So definitely don't do that. Um, but yeah, if you wanted to spray it like to clean them, sure, sure. In terms of adding humidity, it's really it's really not going to work too much. It's going to when you spray the plant with water like that, when you like mist it, it really increases the humidity for like a couple minutes, and then that's very much it. Um, I mean, sometimes it's good to do that to the leaves, definitely if you want to remove like water stains, or maybe you recently repotted and you got like soil on the leaves, and so you really you don't want to like give it a full rinse under the sink, but you kind of want to just moisten it a little bit and then wipe it down with like a paper towel or something, or microfiber cloth is great. So you can totally do that. Absolutely. Um, yes, that's a great suggestion. So Suzanne said maybe a small fan to circulate the air around the plant. Yeah, that definitely works. A fan is definitely helpful. I have definitely used fans. Um, I have definitely used fans when I'm treating my plants, and I give them like a really good soak. Hold on, let me put this on silent because it keeps beeping. Here we go. I have to unsubscribe to a bunch of email things because it's always my phone's always going ding, like 5 gardening hacks for your apple orchard this year. Like it's just like okay. I have to shut these down because it's too much. It's too much. But yes, if I do like I'm treating my plants, if I have any that have like mealies or something like that, and I were to um give them a really good rinse under the tap, or even in the shower if they're a bigger plant, and I were to treat them, then yes, I have definitely turned on. We have really big um fans, the circulating fans, and yes, have that on. to kind of dry them out and make sure that there's a nice amount of airflow in here. During the winter, we do also use fans. Why am I freezing? Okay, there we go. Um, we do circulating fans, and of course, we turn on humidifiers. Gosh, I'm so upset with this freeze right now. I'm not doing anything. My internet is on. I'm even checking my internet. It's on my 5G, so it has to be my computer at this point. Um, yeah. I'm sorry, guys. If I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I really don't know what's going on. Um, oh no. Suzanne, Sally Mae keeps sending me student loan. I I'm in the opposite. Now, student loans have come back on off pause, and so now we're paying those back. And oh, yeah. Whew. Brenda, my niece rescued a snake plant that was left outside overnight where it froze. Oof. The leaves are all flopped down. She's wondering if there's any hope to save it. I thought that she should cut the leaves 2 inches above the soil and see if the roots are alive enough to create new leaves. What do you think? That's a really great suggestion. Yes. So, yeah. So for one, if the leaf itself is completely damaged, um, then yes, you could definitely cut off the damage. So let's say uh here, let's pretend this whole part from here up got frozen and it becomes like jelly. It can do that. What you could do is cut just below that damage to the healthy part and see if that is fine. So it might start to degrade. So sometimes there is damage to the leaf, but only the tip was showing it like initially. And then that damage is going to start to show towards, kind of going to progress down the leaf. Um, but just to try, you could remove the damaged parts of the leaves first and see if the rest is going to be okay. Now, if all the leaves are definitely done, like they're bad, like they're not, there's no way of saving them. Absolutely, you can cut it down, as just above the soil, and yeah, as long as the roots are good, it should push out some new growth. And so again, snake plants are very resilient. They can go long periods of time without water. Um, so I would say, in a nice warm place, about 70 degrees. Give it a good soak, like a bottom soak, and kind of leave it alone. Um, and it could put out pups, definitely. So it could start putting out leaves. It could put out pups. So definitely don't write it off. It could definitely come back. So snake plants have come back for me. The same uh, with ZZ plants as well. Like I had that ZZ plant that I completely lost. All of the top was gone from because I ordered it during the winter. And so it froze in transit. And so when I got it, the whole top of the plant was gone. It was frozen. It was destroyed. And I had to chop it all off. And now I have a beautiful Raven ZZ plant. But it took a very long time. Holly, apps notification silence. Yes. Um, yeah, I've tried to do that, but then what happens is it starts to build up and then I don't get other notifications. So it's yeah, add add a line. It is impossible to pick up my plant, and even have trouble turning it. Ooh, okay. So if it's that big, yeah. So if that's why you wanted to spray it, so yes, then I would say that would probably be the best route, is to give it a good spray and then wipe it down. So I would say don't leave the water on the leaves. So wipe it down. Uh, and really microfiber cloths are like the most eco-friendly way to go about it. You can have one cloth that's just like for that plant. You can put it through the wash and use it to clean that plant. Usually that's the issue, is if you are using microfiber cloths with your plants, you don't want to cross-contaminate. So you don't want to clean that plant with that cloth and then use the same cloth like right afterwards to clean another plant, because you might have, pests or something you're unknowingly spreading around. If you're absolutely sure and you're like, no, no, I definitely don't, I guess if you want to take the chance. But yeah, you can have like a microfiber cloth that you can use on your poinsettia and kind of give it a nice, if you wanted to spray it to clean it, and then give it a nice kind of rub down with that microfiber cloth to get it really nice and clean. That should work great. Royd, I have a succulent with some of the bottom leaves turning yellow. I don't know if I'm overwatering or underwatering. That's a great question. So, based on it being a succulent and turning yellow at the base, my suspicion would be overwatering. So if it was underwatering, usually those bottom leaves would actually start to shrivel up. So it would be the opposite. So so they would be drying out. It would be kind of crispy. Those leaves would start to get crispy. If it's turning yellow, especially if they're also kind of soft to the touch, like when it's not like it's crispy and yellow, but rather that it's kind of a little soft, or when you go to reach to pluck them off, they kind of very easily come off, like with no resistance. That could be an indicator that you have some root rot. Um, if that's the case, I would definitely check your roots for that plant. So check the roots, because you might end up having to do some cleaning in there, removing any of those dead roots. And you might have to repot it if it's really progressed, because if not, the plant will just keep kind of breaking down. Because once the root rot starts, there's a whole ecosystem in your soil. So there's bacteria, there's fungi. In some cases, there might be some archaea in there. And then that's just their job, is to decompose. So if something starts to decompose, then they're like, hey, that's food, and they'll keep doing their job. And so, yeah, especially I would also smell. You can smell the plant and see if you smell, because you can actively smell that decomposition. So root rot, it smells pretty bad. So if you smell there, oh, am I unfrozen? Okay, there we go. If you see if you see anything like black roots, or if you start to touch them and like the roots kind of slough off, it's kind of like the sheath, it's like a sock. It just comes right off, and it starts to smell really bad. You probably have root rot there. So definitely check those roots. You can remove those yellow leaves at the base. Um, it's pretty bad. It smells pretty bad. Suzanne is saying, does it smell like rotten potatoes? Kind of. Yeah, it definitely. It's not like leaves that are, starting to break down. It's not like when you go outside to the park and it's like that smell of dirt and like leaves. It's a lot worse. It definitely smells, yeah, I would rotten potatoes, that's a pretty good estimate, like in terms of the smell. Yeah, it's like rotten vegetables. Yeah, like yeah, yeah. It's not a pleasant smell. It's not like, oh, that smells a little off. No, it's not a nice smell. Um, Holly, can you suggest reasons why the ends of the leaves of several plants have tips that are turning brown? I'm watering less to see if I was overwatering. That's a great question. Um, well, honestly, a lot of one of the first things that happens during the changing of the seasons and the shift of atmospheric humidity. So as the temperature starts changing, as well as how much humidity, it starts to get drier in the winter, a lot of leaves, the tips start to brown. It's just a very quick, the change. Um, so it could be that if you have a gauge, so like those little gauges that shows your temperature and your humidity, that is really great to kind of watch throughout the seasons, because then, especially if it kind of helps you see, all right, well, is it getting a little too dry in the house? So my first suspicion would be the change of the seasons. Um, going into winter, it's getting colder and the humidity, it's dropping, so it's getting a little drier. So usually that's a sign of dehydration. Usually is just the tips, right? Like the rest of the leaves are totally fine. The plant looks great. It's just the tips that are a little off, right? It's a little crispy. And so that is usually a humidity, that could be a humidity issue. Now, if the tips are browning, but they're soft, so like when you touch it, it looks kind of rubbery, um, or there we go. Um, or if it's I lost my train of thought because I was freezing. Oh, here we go. Yes. If it's soft and rubbery, or it feels like the tip almost like breaks off because of like it's very soft, that's when I would worry that you might be overwatering and it's starting to break down the plant. This can also happen if the plant starts to freeze sections of the plant. Usually it's the tips because it's like the most, just like the very tip, it's the most kind of exposed there. Um, Especially if it's closer to a window or things like that. That can happen too. If it starts to get too cold, the tip might start to freeze and kind of like it almost looks like it's like melted off. Uh, so so first suspicion is humidity. Second, if it's soft though, then I would worry about overwatering. Um, yeah, I would worry about overwatering, or if it's getting way too cold in my place. But I really think it might be like the humidity change, like temperature and humidity change. So I would say to check your temperature and humidity just in case. In regards to your pothos, it's also dying and curling. So curling is a sign of dehydration, but this can work both ways, right? So what is going on? Jules, my cat Jules, is currently running around the apartment. Are you all right, buddy? You okay? Are you okay? Oh, here we go. Are you all right? Um, oh, thank you. The headbutts. You okay? He's literally like bouncing off the walls. Are you all right? He just has the zoomies. You good? Yeah? I have no idea what's going on with my cat. You guys are being kooky. Kooky, crazy. Oh, he's a big cat. He's a very big cat. He's our largest and our oldest. Um, but he seriously acts like a kitten. He's crazy. Uh, um, so oh, I don't know if you can hear Mozart in the background as well. All right, buddy. Yeah, you want to cuddle as well, but I have to teach. I have to teach, my love. Okay? Okay. Um, so if the for the pothos, so yeah, if it's in a vase in water, okay, great. So then this is a great example. So when leaves are curling, it's dehydration. Now you might think, oh, okay, I need to water it, right? But what is also a sign, it replicates that sign is sometimes when it's being opened and the roots are the freezing is so frustrating. Um, so sometimes if you overwater and they're rotted, then I'm gonna break my computer. I'm getting so frustrated with my computer. Um, but yes, so if you go ahead and check the roots just to see if there's any dead roots. So what happens is that if the roots are unable to pull up the water, so even if it's a cutting, right, and it's in water, so you're like, how could it be underwater, right? Like why is it curling? It could be that some of those roots might not be effectively pulling up that water. So either if the roots are rotting, now if they're not rotting, you're like the roots look perfectly healthy. What is happening? Check the container itself. Does it have like a tinge of green? It does it look murky at all? So that can be another thing. So algae will steal oxygen out of the water. So if you allow that to build up, it can negatively impact the roots, so they can't work as effectively. Sometimes there's also like bacteria and things like that. Um, so you just kind of have to check those roots, especially if you can see the roots. Um, it's in water. But that one bit of dust. So I would say to definitely give it a good rinse. So like really clean that container out with like hot water and soap. Like give it a really nice clean and then put the plant back in there, the cutting back in there. Just to be safe. And in the process, you can very, very gently kind of touch the roots. Um, yeah. Jocelyn, bit the dust dead. Um, let me see. Okay, it's good, but they could be shedding like the tree does in the fall. So well, that would happen with deciduous plants. So but that's very unlikely with tropical species. And so you're not really going to be seeing deciduous activity like that with houseplants unless the plant itself is deciduous, which means that it sheds its leaves during the fall. So it goes through a dormancy period where it drops its leaves and then goes into dormancy, and then come spring it starts to push out leaves again. You don't really see that uh like let's say like alocasias for instance, or there are certain plants that do go dormant, but they're not exactly considered deciduous. So like alocasias for instance will die back. It's very common for them to die back when it gets colder. And they kind of go back into the corm and then they kind of start all over again. um that can happen, especially if they start to get a little cold. It's just like it's more so because conditions might not be optimal. Um,
Hey,
uh-huh.
Kelly, look,
Yeah.
this one, the leaves, the little ends were browning, and some of the leaves were falling off, and the uh
Oh, it's a Schefflera. You have an umbrella plant.
and this one. Wow.
Oh, palm. Looks like a parlor palm.
Yeah.
So I would say, especially with the parlor palm, it might be it's getting a little chillier and it might be getting a little bit drier, like in the air. Um,
No, it's just on the ends and the bottom one. So
hmm.
I thought they probably are making room for this to grow bigger or something. But the tops of these, like that, all of a sudden are getting brown. So
Yeah.
and then my prayer plant. So it's still growing. This thing is still growing. That other one is still growing, but it's still never had these brown tips before.
Yeah, and so that's why, so it's gonna still, they're still gonna be growing, but even if they have that shift in like it's a little chillier, it's a little bit drier, they'll still be growing, but the tips will start to get kind of just they dry out. Those tips really dry out. So I would say try to see if putting them closer, either putting a humidifier in that area, or that's gonna not spray cold water, but might spray like the warm mist. That might be helpful. You might start to see that it won't make those tips turn green again. They'll stay like that, but you can cut those off if you wanted to. But at least it would stop the progression. So it's just
Okay, I'll probably wait till the summertime. Then, like, I guess they are supposed to start growing in the summertime. Then cut it back if it looks bad, and then let it grow for then. But as long as the whole plant is not.
yeah, exactly. It's more of like an aesthetic thing. Like our palm that used to happen like every winter, every fall into winter. That was just what would happen. And it happens too with even like my like the aloe plant that I keep by the window. Now that it's getting cold, one of the tips started doing that. The same with one of our snake plants that's right by that window. It's getting colder, and so they start to show those little signs that it's getting a little nippy. Um, and so yeah, no, it definitely happens because of that shift. Um,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's probably a seasonal, but they never did that before. So that's why I asked, so I could get, your opinion about, this is all of a sudden. But I used to have humidifiers, and they don't, I don't know. I probably need to get one of those big ones that you use for babies or something that get warm and just put it in the room in the wintertime. But
yes.
I'll just try to do that later on because it was like snowing and 29 degrees, and now by Friday it's going to be 55. So
Yes.
I can't really.
No, no, exactly. But it's that inconsistency and the rapid drop of like,
Yeah.
30-degree differences. So then that's what causes a lot of that. So it's just it kind of comes with, especially with the changing of the seasons, it happens. Like now what we do here too, since our apartment is not we don't have a huge apartment. It's 500 square feet. We have a very small apartment. What we do is we also I boil water. So we have our humidifiers, but especially if it gets like really, really chilly and like the humidifiers aren't making a dent, I take a big soup pot of water and I just let it boil, and it's warm, so it also warms up the space,
Yeah.
and it really adds so much more. It's like a big punch of humidity.
I
And the
do
plants
that
are
too.
very happy for that.
I
So
thought I was the only one that did that,
no,
guys.
it's a
I
great
do it
hack.
all the time because I keep getting like congestion or something,
Yes,
and
and it's great for
uh yeah, and then I put a towel over my head and breathe the steam, and I when I tell my kids that, they act like I'm from another planet, but I don't know. I think I learned that from old fashioned ways, stuff people used to do before they had electric humidifiers and stuff like that.
exactly. And I mean, it's seriously tried and true method. And so, like, if you have a smaller square footage and that's something you could do, like you don't have like a door on your kitchen, and like your living room, especially if you keep your plants like, in your kitchen or in your living room. And so if you can boil water and it's gonna like get into the room that you need it to, absolutely. It's like the
Okay.
best. And it's good for the plants, but then it's good for you too, because Ryan and I both in the winter, oh my gosh, like our sinuses get so dry, which is a big reason why we have all the humidifiers. So it's like it works, but boiling the water always, it's perfect, perfect. Um, Brenda, 500 square feet apartment, 300 square foot of plants. Yes. Hey, seriously, yeah, we have plants basically on most of our surfaces. And then of course we worked upwards. So we have hanging plants, we have plants on shelves. So it's not like they're on the floor, but they're pretty much everywhere else. Yeah, they're all our windows are covered in plants. So all of our windows have plants. And then last summer we installed they're removable, so they're not bolted in. I took some old plywood and I made these like little inserts on the sides of the window. And then I just was able to put the plywood in and then I can put the plants. But if there was an emergency, it's all you do is just you pull it and you can open the window and no problem. Because I was like, I'm not bolting myself in if there was an emergency. But any little DIY things that I could do to yeah. So the plants are definitely everywhere here. Yes, in a forested ecosystem, yes, I think that's what helps. It helps our mental helps our mental health, especially during the winters. I've noticed that like both Brian and I get really bummed out in the winter. I've over the years, so I have oh frick, did I unfreeze? There we go. I have arthritis, and so winters usually are pretty difficult for me. But over the years, I've been trying to like get myself kind of better acclimated to cold. So the last couple winters, I've gone out like plant identifying, birding. During the winter, like I've been out birding at like 13 degrees Fahrenheit. um, so I've been trying to also like get myself, so that's definitely helped, I think, with like the winter blues. But then also being surrounded, like keeping the house, like 70 and up, having the humidity, having the plants happy and growing, and a lot of the green, I think has definitely helped uh kind of keep you a little sane throughout throughout the winter months. And I think also honestly even with the grow lights too, because here, gosh, it's like 4:30, 5 o'clock, it's already like it looks like it's night. It already looks like it's 8, 9 o'clock at night. So it's like having the grow lights and things, it kind of tricks you into thinking that it's still a little bright, so it doesn't feel as bad. Um, but yeah, it definitely helps. It definitely helps. Oh, Royd, do hanging ivy plants go yellow and die from the start? And then towards the tips, I have kept it around for 1 year, and most of the leaves have gone yellow. Okay, that's a great question. So, if it's going yellow, um, from the start, so like from the growth, and then it moves towards the tips. So that's usually something is happening underside. So that's usually that might be root rot that could be happening, or that could also be spider mites. So ivy, like the English ivy, are very, very prone to spider mites. So sometimes that you can actually see it's almost like a gradient. You'll see that damage happen that way. Um, and that can definitely happen with ivy, especially if all of a sudden it's like out of nowhere it was healthy and then you haven't changed anything and it just starts to, turn yellow like that. I would definitely watch and give it a really good check. Just see if you see any webbing, if it looks like there's any like little spots that are kind of moving. You could do the paper towel test. So take a white paper towel, dampen it with some water, and just give it like a good swipe on the top and a good swipe on the bottom of the leaf, and see if you see anything on that paper towel, because that could be spider mites. Um, uh, English ivy is very resistant. It's such a weird plant because for one, it can be very sensitive, and in other times it can be, so it's very odd as a house plant. I've seen that it can go either way as a house plant. Um, it can get very easily overwatered and very easily underwatered as a house plant. But when it's outside, I mean, it will survive the winter. It's such a weird, it's such a weird thing. But I would definitely, especially if you've had it for a year and you're like, it's been totally fine. I would check for spider mites because especially towards the winter months, as it starts to get drier and the air in the home starts to get more stagnant, that is prime time. That is like spider mite heaven. Um, when they have that those kind of conditions. So they don't like a lot of airflow. Um, they like it when it's drier because your leaves tend to get dustier. There isn't much kind of messing with them. So if check definitely check for spider mites. Gabby, I have a pothos that seems to be very healthy and growing, but often I'll find one yellow leaf that appears and it worries me. I take it off thinking it's a dying leaf, and then eventually another yellow leaf appears. Should I continue to take them off or should I be concerned? Great question. So with especially if it's healthy and growing and it is fine to find like one yellow leaf here and there, especially if it's an older leaf. Now I would be worried if it was a newer leaf. So if it's a yellow leaf that's appearing on the vine, that's like just growing, like, oh, this was a whole new section that just grew and then it's turning yellow, then I would be like a little bit more vigilant. But if it's part of the older plant, I mean, it could just be aging out. It's an older leaf, and so it dies off, and some of those base leaves might start to die off. If you have it hanging, um, sometimes that base, if it's not getting enough light, it will kind of bald on top. So like in the pot, it kind of goes bald and then the rest looks beautiful. So you could try to see if maybe getting some additional light on there might be helpful, especially if you haven't changed anything like about the watering, like it's perfectly fine. Um, it's just, you're getting some like random yellow leaves here and there. I would say it's a middle lone leaf. Hmm. So I would also kind of go in there with like with your phone flashlight. Also go in there just to make sure you don't have mealybugs. Um, just to double check you don't have mealybugs or spider mites. Um, but yeah, if it's right kind of in the middle, um, I mean, I wouldn't worry about overwatering necessarily in that regard because usually that would be right at the base. That'd be like right above the soil, where you start to see that happening. Um, and if it was underwatering, a lot of the times the younger leaves, like the most newly opened leaves, would start to crisp and might even like just completely dehydrate because they're so young. So the plant kind of goes, all right, bye. Um, like you're not working out. Bye. Um, but uh, so I would say, I mean, it could just be age. It really could just be age. But and yes, you could take it off because it's definitely not. Yeah, eh, yeah. You might exactly take it off because it looks bad, right? It's not aesthetically pleasing, of course. Um, but I would just kind of give it a look. Give it a look. Make sure that there's nothing on there. Um, like I have my cebu, and yeah, it was getting like yellow leaves here and there, and I've had it for over a year. And it was doing so well, and it's because it had gotten attacked by thrips. So it would be like a yellow leaf here and there. So I would just kind of give it a look and just make sure that you don't have a critter there that is kind of causing some damage, especially if the rest of the plant is like really healthy and it's looking great. Sometimes it will kind of go after the older leaves the pests will go after like leaves that aren't don't have like the greatest defenses. So this can sometimes be really old leaves, and this can sometimes be brand new leaves because they're really supple. They haven't really hardened off yet. So sometimes you might notice if there's like aphids or things like that, or even mealybugs, like they'll go after the brand new leaf that's opening up because it's so supple, like it's so soft. It hasn't kind of unfurled and kind of hardened. Um, so I would definitely check. What is going on, Mozart? Mozart is just like singing in the background. You good? You good, Papa? Yeah? What happened? All my cats today. Hi. So this is Mozart. What's happening? We just need Lexi because we have four. I just need Lexi to hop on my lap, and it'll be the complete set today. What is going on? He's just in the background going, yeah, like, you good? You good, buddy? He's the fluffy one. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But yeah, I would definitely check. Definitely check. Oh yeah, and Suzanne, hang damp towels over register. Yeah, the heat registers. That definitely works. Another good hack as well, if it tends to, you just want to increase a little bit of humidity, right? Especially if, let's say, during the night, your nose tends to get really dry, um, is to put like a glass bowl, or like that. If you have those heaters, like I have those heaters that are the standing heaters, so there's space underneath. So I've seen people put like casserole dishes or it has to be like a heat tolerant dish. So glass tends to work well, but yeah, filling that up with water and sliding it right under there, and so it evaporates. So that was an old trick. That's what my mom used to do when we were younger. Um, and yeah, it increases humidity. You just got to remember to check it because you probably have to fill it like once a day at the very least because it'll dry super fast. Suzanne, I have an amaryllis plant that I put outside in warm weather and I bring it in the fall. I let it go dry and then restart the leaves, but it hasn't bloomed again in the past couple years. Any suggestions to get it to bloom? Ooh. Um, and it hasn't bloomed again for you. Um, so I mean, one big suggestion would be probably adding a grow light that has red wave like the red wave light um has like the red wavelength of light. That might trigger it to start to bloom for you. So that's one like I guess like fast hack. Um, so red light, so red wave light. So it's not just if the light bulb looks red, it really has to truly have red wave light. And sometimes that red wave light doesn't even look red to you. It could be like a full spectrum bulb that has red wave light in it. Um, but it'll actually trigger blooming in plants. And so this is actually how a lot of these nurseries get these plants to flower at the same time so that they're all ready to ship at the same time. And it's induced by red light. So they'll basically have like rooms that have no windows, and they'll put their plants in there and then expose them to that light. And then that triggers them to start to produce flowers. Um, and then they're all ready to go on sale because they all have they're all blooming. So that's one fix, one thing. Um, but yeah, the fact that it's been years is interesting. Um, hmm. Yeah, I mean, I really think having some supplemental light like a red wave light might be helpful. Um, I mean, while it's dormant, I mean, you could try to put it into a mix and maybe add a little bit of or if you don't want to disturb it because yeah, you probably don't want to disturb it right now. Um, Even adding something like worm castings, like a little bit of nutrition, there could be some type of deficit, maybe um, magnesium, or maybe phosphorus even. Um, Something like something to supplement. I mean, worm castings works great. So, and you don't have to actually like dig up the plant and change it. With worm castings, you can kind of sprinkle a little bit right on the soil, and then the next time you water, it just starts to kind of seep its way in. So that's a potential. Um, yeah, but I think honestly that I think if you try with a grow light, I would move forward with that experiment just to check. There's hairs flying off of him and just like landing on my face. And I'm like I'm getting like I'm just feeling like this like hairs. I need to give you a really good brushing. Oh my goodness. Um but yeah. Holly, growing plants can get expensive like having animals. Yes. You have to buy gauges for soil, for for humidity, temperature, all types of specialty plant gear. Yeah. I mean, there are definitely now, I feel like there's a lot of more inexpensive kind of things that you can get. There's like a lot of like humidity gauges, temperature gauges and stuff you can now buy for like $1. I mean, it was definitely different when I think when I bought my first the water gauge, like the to check if the soil was dry. I think that cost me like $20. And now I see that they're being sold for like $3. Um, and yeah, and even like these humidity gauges that I have, like well, these that I have on the wall, I think those were like $8. And then I have been getting these little ones that are magnetic, and it's like three for $7. So, the temperature, yeah, the pricing has definitely dropped significantly. Oh, don't now he's scratching, so now you're gonna get more hair on me. Um, but yeah, I mean, yes, these are all tools I think is just that are helpful, but I don't think they're absolutely necessary. I mean, it's helpful. It's definitely helpful to figure out things. So if like let's say you're seeing you know, that your plants something's going on, it's kind of nice to solve. It helps kind of solve those questions, right? Helps you with that detective work. But if your plants are happy and you're doing what I mean, you don't necessarily need to have all that stuff. It's definitely helpful. But yes, it could absolutely get very expensive, very, very expensive. I think that the most expensive thing for me was just finding that I I it was better for me personally. This might not be everybody's experience, of course. Um, I was just having really bad experiences buying like pre-made mixes in bags. Like the succulent soil, they wouldn't have enough perlite to my the oh, here we go. Like the aeroid mixes that I would get, they would tend to retain just too much water for my liking. And so I ended up just going and buying a bunch of different soil aggregates. So I have like in we have a in our pantry, I literally have a whole shelf of like cereal containers. They're like the plastic cereal containers, and like one is all leca, one is all like lava. There we go. One is all lava rock. One is all like sphagnum. One is like coco coir. And so it's like I have all these like extra soil aggregates that if my mix needs something, I can supplement it. And that was very expensive to do, to kind of create that little kind of these stores of aggregates for my mixes. But it's just because I really wanted access to it. And so I bought in bulk, and then I have it. And now I think I have too much. I even have like poles. I have coco coir poles. Like I have quite a few things. Um, and so it's, yeah, I even have like extra grow lights. So in case something were to happen and these were to go out, I have like an extra one. Um, but yeah. Jocelyn, you have many children to feed. Yes. All my the furry children. Yes, the cat is deciduous. Exactly. Absolutely. Yes. Oh, that'd be hilarious. To see Mozart bald. That would be pretty funny. Holly, I told you the cats want all your all your attention. Maybe they know it's a season of gifts and love and they are nostalgic. They need more cuddling and presents. Oh, absolutely. Um, yeah, no, it's I wake up with them like all around. He's currently just laying across my lap now. So yeah, they are definitely very very cuddly. And especially today, I don't know what it's chilly today. It is very, I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, it's actually pretty chilly. So I think you guys are exploiting the warmth right now. Um Suzanne, worm tea. Yes. Worm tea is totally a thing. Um yeah, like with worm castings, you could definitely make worm tea. So basically you're taking the worm castings and you're putting a little bit, just a little bit. You don't need to use a lot. You can put just a teensy little bit into some like a bottle of water or something like that, and you can let it sit overnight. And then you can water your plants with that. So I would say not to leave it much longer than that, because it can start to grow mold and things like that. So, but yeah, you can absolutely do that if you wanted to. It's a great, very gentle fertilizer if you wanted to do it that way. I mean, it's good enough to just take some of that the worm castings and just kind of sprinkle it right on top of the soil. And so when you do water, it'll get in there. It'll get in there. Brenda, I have some aloe plants that have a flu. Oh my God, a few black spots about 1/8 to a quarter inch in diameter. A few tips of the leaves have turned black. What could be happening? Ooh, um, that that could be rot. Um, that could be rot. That could also be freezing. So is it near a window? So what can happen with with when plants are starting to freeze is that they will develop these black spots because what's happening is that like basically sections of the plant uh froze. So sometimes the whole leaf doesn't freeze, but rather like little sections of it. And so then it kind of starts to radiate. So it looks like a little black spot and then it starts to spread. This has happened to plants that I've left. I've had to learn what plants I can leave by the window and which I can't. So, like I have a few aloes. Right now two aloes by my western window, and I have an agave, a variegated agave in there. I have some euphorbias. I have some crasulas, euphorbias, and did I say euphorbia? Uh, and uh, and an apuntia. So I have them right by my western window, and they're pulled they're pulled back about 6 inches or so. Um, and they're okay. They're fine during the winter. Um, but I've had to learn that. I've had many other plants by my windows that I've learned I cannot keep by my windows. The temperature, they just do not, they freeze very, very quickly. So they're just not that hardy. So it could be due to the cold. Um, it also could be sometimes it's rot. So it could be like a fungal infection. And it starts to do that as well. They kind of start, it kind of looks like a bullseye and then it spreads. So that could happen. Um, in terms of how to stop it, sometimes cutting the leaf off, I would suggest, just so that it doesn't spread. It doesn't spread. Um, Holly, my grandmother did not do anything but water her plants and move them around the apartment. Yep. So I mean, and that's true. That's totally true. Before all these gadgets, you kind of just did what worked, and if it didn't work, okay, cool. And I think the gadgets are definitely more for our own benefit. It's just like kind of just understanding, I guess, things a little bit more. But no, they're not absolutely necessary. So you could totally be a hobbyist and not have all the tech. No worries. You can definitely make it work without the tech. Hence, like, boil some water. You don't you don't have to get a humidifier. You can definitely hack it. You can definitely do stuff without having to buy anything. Liz, can you make worm tea from worm castings bought in a bag? Can that be used as a light fertilizer? Yes, yes, definitely. So, you can absolutely do that. So you don't have to use that much. So as I mentioned, just use a little bit. And you can put it like in a water bottle or something that is only going to be used for that. Never reuse that water bottle ever. Um, but yes, you can absolutely do that. And then you can use it as a light fertilizer. In terms for all plants, technically yes. Succulents, you can put a little bit of worm castings in there. But just you don't have to put too much. So a lot of succulents, they would prefer just a not so much nitrogen. And there. Um, Holly, that is a gift for organizing specific planting and being prepared for repotting when they grow and need a change. Yeah. Yeah, with my setup. So I have two little setups. So I have one is a cart, a little cart in our bedroom that has just I have a couple of things in there. So I have like my horticultural charcoal, I have um fertilizer granules in there. I have a little bit of peat that I've had for a really long time. I don't buy peat anymore, so it's just what I have in that container is from like several years ago. Um, what else do I have on there? Leca, perlite, and I think I have some vermiculite, which I'm not using, but it's there. But I have some small glass containers on a little cart that I have in the bedroom in a corner, and so that if I need something, right then and there, it's there. But then in the kitchen is where I have the pantry, and just putting them in bags wasn't great because that bags can rip, and then it's a horrible mess, especially if it's like perlite. So it's like you get that dust. Also if it's like worm castings. Um, and so I was like, okay, I need something a smarter container, and then I remembered, well, like the cereal containers, like the long plastic containers that open on the top, and they also have an extra little opening that's like a circle where you would dump out your cereal. Well, that's perfect. Like for perlite, I can just take it and then they organize really nicely in my pantry. And so I like to do it that way. Because then it's nice and organized, they're labeled, uh, and it's, nice and sealed, so no moisture is gonna get in. I'm not gonna like worry about, oh no, there's gonna be mold or anything like that. Like if the bag was opened or something like that, and it's in the pantry where it's dark. So yeah, that's great. Um, what do I think of compost tea? Um, yeah, I mean, compost definitely, definitely. My worry about compost tea is only if sometimes if the tea, right, is left to sit for a while, it's just the things that can grow on it. So on that surface area. So like mold, bacteria, and then watering your plants with it. So that's why it's like you want to let it sit. I think, 24 hours is great. Maybe at the most 48 hours. But I would be worried if it was a little bit longer and then there's stuff kind of growing on it, you can see that there's mold and stuff, then I would be wary of that because I don't want to add that into my soil and then yeah. And especially let's say your plant is very susceptible. So let's say you unbeknownst to you, your plant, maybe some of the roots are rotting and you don't know, and then you kind of add like mold and bacteria into that mix, and then it's just that's the nail in the coffin for the plant. Yeah. Um, Holly, you have a scientific approach. Yes, I do. I definitely do. But the marketplace supports getting people to think that they need more stuff. That's true. It becomes a more personal preference, but buyer beware. Yes, absolutely. Yes, the marketplace definitely does that. So, they definitely want you to buy all the things, right? All the gadgets. You absolutely need a moisture meter. I mean, I got one because I was like, you know what? I want to see if this will help. And quite honestly, I don't use them as often as I would hope. I really tend to use just either my finger which is free. Um, or even just the weight of the plant, kind of checking, and I'm like, oh, this is really dry. The plant is very light. It's definitely dry. There is a very big difference, right, between the weight of your plant when it's dry and when it's nice and saturated. So you can also kind of practice, kind of like after you water your plant, hold it and kind of get used to that weight, and then when it's fully dry, kind of gauge like, okay, like this is fully dry. And so it's a great kind of muscle memory, so that you don't even have to get a moisture meter. You can just do it that way. Absolutely. Suzanne, or pet food containers. Yes, that works great for like soils and soil aggregates. Absolutely. Holly says, yes, thrifting for organizing containers comes in handy. Absolutely, yes. Um, I have like some glass containers, but I do recommend, you know, recycling plastic containers if possible. One, putting them to use, but also, you know, less likelihood that they will break. So I have been very lucky. I think that the containers I bought are just like super thick. I have totally dropped them and very thankful that they have not broken. But that's why moving forward, yeah, that I just used plastic because I was like that this could end very badly. So yeah. And especially if you can recycle it. So if it's stuff that you can thrift, or maybe it's, containers that you purchase for another purpose and then they're empty now and you can rinse them out and use them for something else. Absolutely. Um, that's just, yeah, upcycling is the best option. Absolutely. Um, yeah. Let me see. I want to make sure I don't miss any. Mozart, he's just falling asleep on my on my lap right now. But yeah, no, he's oh man. Yeah, no, pets and plants. Pets and plants. Definitely yeah. They ring up quite a bill. Quite a bill. You comfy? Oh my gosh, you are dropping so much. I'm not even sure if the camera could pick this up. Maybe? No, barely. It's like blonde. Um, I'm petting him and it's like little tumbleweeds. Plants or pets. Oh yes, I saw a really funny like meme about that. And it was just that plants are the new pets. And I was like, oh, that's true. Definitely, definitely. Yeah, I feel like a lot of folks now are definitely, I feel like plants used to be considered more of like an accessory, of like a background. Oh, now you want to get up? Background decor. Oh, he's just moving. He's just turning around. Um, Background decor kind of thing, and now folks are like, getting plants, but they're actually like getting into the plants. I mean, hell, like my mom, she's a plant lady, but she is not where I'm at. Like she doesn't know the names of her plant. Um, so she doesn't know the names of her plants, and she's never like gone online and Googled like how to take care of them. It's just like, oh, new plant, and then she just figures it out. It's like, oh, that did not like all that water, or oh no, that looks like that needs more water. Oh, it doesn't like this spot, I'm gonna move it. And she has a jungle, um and with no extra stuff, so she doesn't have like manuals, and she doesn't use like Google for that. And yes, I mean, some folks just figure it out. um but yeah, it was very common for folks to just have plants and not know what they were. And they would have them for years, like decades. But they had no idea what it was. They would just keep taking care of it. And I feel that now it's changed where with things like Google and now like plant communities, right? So people are now like learning what the plants are and where are they from and how to take care of them. And oh wow, there's more of this type of plant. Like I'm obsessed with like euphorbias, like ripsalis, and so and I love snake plants. So whenever I find like a new little snake plant, I want to add it to my collection. And I'm just like, it's like Pokemon. You just gotta catch them all, right? It's just it definitely becomes an obsession, definitely. Suzanne, seasonal shedding. Oh yeah, absolutely. You're shedding. Um, yeah, no, no, absolutely. Oh, Gabby says I saw a tote bag that said "Plant Lady is the new cat lady." Yes. Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's so funny whenever we're like if we're watching TV and like folks are getting interviewed and stuff. I'm always cracking up when they do an interview and the person has like a house full of plants, and I'm like, oh, yes, like they're a plant person. But yeah, the absolutely the new cat lady. Yep. And Holly, your animals are protesting the plants. They feel that the plants are taking over the house. Yeah. No, they're pretty good. Like they're oh, you good? You good? Um yeah, no, Mozart's fine. He really doesn't mess with the plants like that. It's more so it's more so like the Choco. He likes to mess with that. He likes to mess with some of like the bigger leaf plants, like our big philodendrons. He likes to bat them. Um, I don't know why, but he likes to do that. Maple could care less. Jules, this is Mozart. Jules actually likes the ponytail palms. So the ponytail palms, Jules likes to go after and chew on. Um, and then Lexi, she won't go after the plants. Like these are all fine. Like she will not touch them. But if I bring them and I put them on the floor, because let's say I'm cleaning or I'm watering and I put the plant on the floor, it's fair game. She will she will go and start to smell them and bat them or try to bite them if it's like a vine or something. Um, I don't know. She just goes into like, what is this? But only if they're like on the floor. But she will not jump up on anything to mess with them. So they all have a very different attitude towards the plants in the house. But yeah. All right, buddy. I gotta cut your nails because they're digging into my thighs. Oh, but I have to get you up, Papa. He's protesting me getting him off my lap. Oh, you hear him? Yeah, I'm trying to get him off my lap, and he's meowing. Um, yes, desert plant obsession. The botany man is showing endangered desert plants and invasive plants that aren't native now. Yeah. Yeah, the that was it crime pays but botany doesn't. Yeah, I saw that he released a new video and he was talking about some invasives. I have to, well, I'm part of his Patreon. I need to catch up on some of his videos. I really I need to catch up. Oh, I forgot to show you this. This was the last plant that I picked up. And this is a type of sedum, and it's called sedum shooting star. And so I have a couple different types of sedums like behind me. And so I thought this was really pretty. And so I'm hoping that I'm gonna let it acclimate by my bookshelf, and then I'm going to put it either here or in the bedroom under the grow lights. Because I would really like to keep this red coloration, but it's super pretty. So all the new growth comes in like this really pretty lime color, and then it looks like it starts to get this really red tone as like along the edges. Really beautiful. So yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, I picked this little guy up. I saw that Home Depot is selling trays of sedums, of different types of sedums. It's way too cold right now, but I think that maybe for the spring, I might order like a tray, and it's like 20 or something, like 20 different types of sedums, and maybe I'll make like a really cool sedum kind of mixed sedum pot or something like that. But yeah, it's really really pretty. I really like it. Sedums are really neat. There's a lot of sedums too that are winter tolerant, and so a lot of our neighbors have sedums that will survive the winter. So they look a little bit shriveled like over the winter. They might even turn bright red, so they get stressed by the cold. And then come spring, they're back and they're growing and they're flowering. So there are some sedums that are winter tolerant that you could leave out even if you live in an area where it freezes. So sedums are a really cool plant group. Um, so I definitely wanna get more of them. I like them. I like the variety. So I might play around a little bit more with sedums. But yeah. Ah, thank you, Holly. But all right, I think here we go. Yeah, the cats are getting a little restless. I'm gonna pop off. But thank you so much. Oh, and Suzanne, to bring plants home, you could put in a cooler with a warm rice bag. Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. I did that even last year. Yeah, last winter. Even when Brian, because Brian has a motorcycle, and so Brian was picking up plants during the winter, and I mean like dead winter. It's like freezing outside, and what we were doing is we were transporting them in coolers, and so because you could put like a hot water bottle or some or like a heat pack in there, and then they're very well. Um, yeah, they're very well insulated in there. And so that's how he was bringing some plants home. He would go pick them up in Manhattan on his motorcycle and just he'd put them into the cooler, into like the backpack, it's like a backpack cooler. So yeah, you can totally do that. That's a very good hack, definitely. Um, and Holly asks, yeah, it gets cold in the desert too. Does it snow there sometimes? I think in some deserts, yes. I think in some deserts it does get cold enough where it can freeze, where it does freeze, and that they do get like a light dusting of snow. I'm not sure if deserts ever get like a foot of snow, but I know that there could be like dustings as far as I understand it. I've never been to a desert in person, and so that's on my bucket list. I would love to go to like Arizona, and I want to go. It's okay, buddy. He's Mozart's like putting his nails into my leg, like pay attention to me. Um, but I would really love to go like somewhere like Arizona, um, where or even like New Mexico, where I can go out with like a group at night, and to look for like really cool plants, but also like look at the nightlife, like scorpions and tarantulas and stuff like that in the desert. I'd really love to do that. And yeah, and I hear that it gets super, super cold. So yeah, you would have to go bundled up, but that would be fun. That would be fun to check out. But yeah, yeah, that's like that's on my bucket list. I think going like there, definitely going to like Australia is on my bucket list as well. Definitely want to go there. I'd love to go to China to where like the river valley is, where the like ginkgos, wild ginkgos still exist, ginkgo trees. I'd love to see that in person. I'd love to go to California, which is much closer than all these other places. I've never gone out west, so I definitely want to go and see the redwoods. That's also on my bucket list, but that might be like a much closer reality than than the others, right? Because yeah, I definitely like to go. I know that some of my work colleagues they work out in Washington State, and that's right, like right along there. And so we were talking about maybe like next year, like meeting up and stuff. So maybe I'd do like a two-part trip where I'd go to like Washington to be with my colleagues, and then go to California and go check out the redwoods since I'm on that side of the country, right? Just take advantage. Oh yes, oh yeah, Africa definitely. That'd be so amazing. There's so many wonderful places to check out. Um, oh yes, see some camel in Turkey. Yeah. Oh yes. Oh, and Royd said there is one species of tree that can survive in the Sahara Desert. That's amazing. I love desert species. As you can see, I have a lot of succulents. I mean, I do have a lot of rainforest succulents. So there are like I do have rainforest cacti as well, here and here. Like I have a lot of rainforest cacti, but I really like um desert species. So that's why I would love to go in person. I mean, I've gone to plenty of like botanical gardens that have, domes, and they like replicate the desert like atmosphere and environment, so that like the biosphere, so that you can kind of feel the heat, and they have the plants growing like that. But to not I need to see the uh the real thing. And oh my God, Jamie, so jealous. I'm so happy that you got to go. So Jamie got to go to the Amazon. That's a whole other thing. I've been to the rainforest in Costa Rica, and that was amazing. And I just remember the guide was like, "Why are you looking for trouble?" Because I kept as we were walking, I'd walk ahead of on the trail, and I'd be like, "Ooh, log," and then I'd list the log, and there'd be like a rock, like, and I'd be like, "Ooh, rock," and I'd list it. So I found like tarantulas, I found scorpions. I was having a ball, and the guide was like, "Why are you looking for the trouble? The trouble usually lives under the logs and under the rocks." And here I am, like purposely going, "Ooh, what's that?" I was just filled with curiosity, and I was like, "Oh, this looks so cool." But yeah, no, I definitely I'm much more careful now. I was like 17, 18. Um, so I was a little crazier, a little more what they call a devil may care. But yeah, now I'm like, yeah, no, I know I have to be careful. I could very easily lift something up and there's like a snake or something. But no, yeah, but I definitely want to go. I'd love to go to the Amazon. Um, oh, Holly, I don't know the difference. I've never been to many rainforests. Yeah, no, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's just it's a whole other world. It's like you're in a whole other world. It's really amazing. Um, I definitely, yeah, I just wanna visit, yeah, different types of environments. I've been in temperate forests. I've never been into an old growth forest, so I'd like to do that. I've been into a rainforest, never been in a desert. I've been in like wetlands and like salt marshes. So it's like, yeah, I've been in swamps too, like in Louisiana. Um, but yeah, I need to deserts and old growth forests. I need to, yeah, I would love to do that. Oh wow, Holly, I went to a rainforest in Ghana. That's amazing. Oh man. Oh no, yes, Suzanne, you're right. Go soon before they disappear. I actually read a really sad statistic, but I'm trying to remember the exact amount, but I can't. It was just really sad when I heard it, but now I can't remember the number. Uh, but they were talking about how much forest we've actually lost, like in the last year alone. Like it was a pretty high percentage. Um, and yeah, and that the old growth forests, they're dropping at such a significant rate. Um, and there's no way we can't replenish them at the rate they're dropping. And these old growth forests, they're called old growth because they're supporting a lot of this like biodiversity. They've been there for a really long time. And then when you, let's say, take all those trees and then plant new trees, it's not the same. It's definitely not the same. They're not supporting the same type of life. Um, the erosion that it causes in the soil, it's just, yeah, it was pretty sad to see. So it's like, oh yeah, man. Yes, and Holly, in Louisiana, the trees are huge. Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, we went to like a preserve in Louisiana, and that was amazing. And the alligators, that was really cool. And also in we went to a preserve in Tennessee as well, and some of those trees were absolutely huge. So yeah, man. Sorry to it's like a bummer at the end. Sorry about that. Um, but thanks so much everyone for joining in. Seriously, it's always a joy to have you here. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your Monday, the rest of your week. Definitely have a safe one. For those of you who are in areas where we're getting cold, I hope you're staying warm and hope your plants are staying warm as well because the temperature's definitely dropping and um I'm not looking forward to it. But thank you so much everyone for hopping on. And yes, definitely Holly, yes, you too. Everyone have a very wonderful week. And yeah, like seriously, I'm happy I'll be seeing you hopefully next Monday. And Royd, yes, Costa Rica regrew their forest, which didn't take long by introducing a carbon tax, and they are 99% green now. Yes, it can be successful. Um, it really depends, right? Because sometimes these also the new trees that are being planted, like with tree campaigns, right? They aren't the same species that were already in that area, and sometimes they're not built up in the same. They haven't built up the same resistances. So some of those, let's say those oak trees are resistant, let's say to different types of blight or something like that. But then you're introducing oak trees that maybe aren't native to the area, um, or maybe they are the same species that are native, but they haven't built up those same mechanisms. And so now it's in the same it's yes, it's in the same environment, the same species, but now if that a blight that might be common there will take them out, in comparison to these trees that have built up resistance over time. It's like there's so many different factors. It's really sad. Seriously. But yeah. Yes, youth must go roll up their sleeves and help the earth everywhere. Yes, true, Holly and Suzanne. With climate change, the plants are having to adapt or die. Absolutely. Yes. So we're gonna see a lot of our landscapes change. We're gonna see a lot of the types of plants that we're seeing change, as well as the types of animals that they're hosting. So we might, like hummingbirds, let's say, for instance, you might not see them in certain areas anymore. It's yeah, our the world is changing, and very, very rapidly, unfortunately. But thanks so much, everyone. Have a great one, and yes, and oh my gosh, yes, Holly, the ice caps is just, yeah, it's we're living in quite the time, right? It's quite the time to be around. So cross cross our fingers and our toes. But yeah, we gotta figure something out. But thank you so much, everyone, and have a wonderful week. Bye for now.